I know I don't normally reference the Dragon Ball Super manga, but the idea for this scenario came from it. In chapter 10 of the manga, when Goku was fighting Frost, he tried to tell Frost that if he trained more, he could come back even stronger like Frieza did. So, the change for this scenario is a simple one. After the Tournament of Destroyers, while Frost is a fugitive, he trains whenever he has the chance. We don't know exactly when the Tournament of Destroyers or the Tournament of Power took place, but the Tournament of Destroyers happened in age 779 and the Tournament of Power happened in age 780. So, at most, there's around a year between the two tournaments that Frost could use to train. However, since he is also a fugitive, he'd have to spend some of his time evading capture instead of training constantly. Regardless, it took Frieza 4 months to train to unlock the Golden Form, but with Frost having to run in between training, it likely takes him longer. Though I do think he would be able to unlock the Golden Form by the time the Tournament of Power is set to begin. As a brief side note, I know Frieza referenced that he was able to choose the color of his Golden Form. I just went with his form being gold for the sake of simplicity. It still eventually finds Frost and informs him about Champa wanting him to participate in the tournament. Since the options are either to agree or be killed by Hit, he agrees to do so, as he likely wouldn't stand a chance against the assassin. After they all arrive at the World of Void, Frost still introduces himself to Frieza, as per usual. They still engage in a secret conversation and agree to work with each other during the tournament. The Grand Minister then enters and goes over the rules for the tournament one last time. Once the tournament finally begins, all of the warriors rush each other. Things in the tournament generally go the same at first, up until Krillin was knocked out of the arena by Frost. Normally, 18 tried to retaliate, but Frost used a smokescreen to disappear. This time, with Frost having trained, he stands his ground and prepares to fight her. Now I know it could be up for debate on if he'd be strong enough to beat her without his golden form, but given how strong Frieza got in his final form through training, I think he would be able to do so. He quickly knocks Android 18 out of the ring as well before going on his way. The next change in the tournament would be a minor one, but when Tupper was about to eliminate Goku, Android 18 normally rescued him. This time, it would be Android 17 who rescues him and eliminates Tupper. Later on, he would also be the one to eliminate Kokot. It's hard to say for sure, but with Android 18 being eliminated earlier, I could see Android 17 taking things even more seriously. So, instead of letting Goku talk him into letting Brienne de Chateau, Senkaku, and Sue Rose transform, he blasts them out of the ring. Without Brienne being there, the next change is when Piccolo was about to fight Girasum. Normally, Brienne ended up knocking him out of the ring, but this time, Piccolo gets to fight him and he likely eliminates him. Later on, when Frost gets into a fight with Master Roshi, I see their fight generally staying the same. After all, while he could have eliminated Master Roshi from the start, I still think he'd try to drag Vegeta into the fight to try and eliminate him. This is likely when he shows off his golden form for the first time, much to the shock of the others. Frost briefly might mention how he took Goku's advice about training to heart, so there could be a gag moment of them berating Goku for that. Regardless, he would still reverse Master Roshi's evil containment wave to steal Vegeta, though after Vegeta is freed, Frost might get into a brief fight with him, but he still uses the key smoke bomb to escape when he realizes he can't win. After this is normally when Goku and Brienne got into a fight, but with her having been eliminated, this is likely when Zerloin, Zarbuto, and Rabanra step up. Their fight against Goku is likely the same, with them using the pretty black hole, which Goku has to go Super Saiyan Blue and uses Kamehameha to overpower. As for Gohan's fight against Jimizu, Frieza would still step in and eliminate Jimizu. This was Universe 2's last fighter, so they were erased slightly earlier than usual, though when Frost does come in to congratulate Frieza, this is where I wasn't sure what to do. Normally, this is where Frieza betrayed Frost after pretending to fight Gohan. In this timeline, though, I could see him wanting to test Frost more and see more about what he could do. However, I could also see him still eliminating Frost here and now as to not weaken his own team further. I eventually decided that he would eliminate Gohan here instead, as to make it a slightly more interesting story. This doesn't mean that Frieza's betrayal of Frost won't happen later on, though. Essentially, Frieza would keep up his ruse of being on Frost's side for even longer than he usually did. Frost normally insisted that Frieza should go first to fight Gohan, but with them both having the golden form, they fight him together. Gohan wouldn't stand a chance against Frieza alone, so he would easily be eliminated by the two of them. Frieza helping eliminate someone from his own team would obviously anger Beerus, but he wouldn't risk doing anything to Frieza as to not anger the Xenos. After this, Goku still ends up having his first fight with Jiren, but it goes the same as usual. When Frieza goes to give him energy, there might be some brief disagreement agreement from Frost about this. He'd likely think that they should just eliminate him right now, but Frieza would point out that if they did that, they'd have to be the one to take on Jiren. So, he'd secretly assure him that they'll take out the other Saiyans after they're no longer useful to them. Regardless, with Gohan being eliminated, he obviously couldn't get into a fight with Universe 6's Namekians, though it'd likely just be another one of Universe 7's fighters helping Piccolo against them, such as Android 17. With Android 17 being the one to help Piccolo, they likely have an easier time fighting them, so they are likely eliminated earlier than usual. The next change is when Frieza goes to challenge Cabba, as Frost would be there with him. Even though they wouldn't need to, they would both use their golden forms to torture Cabba. Of course, just like Frieza targeting Gohan angered Beerus, Frost targeting Cabba would anger Champa. Later on, when Kefla is knocked out of the ring by Goku, that leaves Frost as Universe 6's last fighter. Goku also gets to rest for slightly longer in this timeline, since Universe 2 is already erased, as he normally got into a fight with them not long after he defeated Kefla. When Gami-Salas eventually starts his attack, with Gohan having been eliminated, it's likely Android 17 that helps Piccolo with finding the invisible fighter by using Blast to throw up a cloud of dust. Without Android 18 being in the tournament, Viara is likely eliminated by Android 17 instead. Then when Ani Laza is formed, their fight against him mostly goes the same. Since Frieza helped out in the fight against him, Frost likely does too, albeit reluctantly. As for Frieza's fight against Dispo, it likely goes similar to how it normally did, just with Frost helping him instead of Gohan. However, the two of them might be able to weaken him enough to the point that Frost doesn't have to let himself get eliminated just to eliminate Dispo like Gohan did. This is likely where Frost's exhaustion of using the golden form catches up with him, so he reverts to his final form. After all, he wouldn't have trained long enough to master the golden form yet like Frieza did. Since he can no longer tap into his golden form, Frieza likely wouldn't see a use for him anymore. With his guard being down, Frieza would then blast Frost and knock him out of the arena. As usual, this would anger Frost, and he'd try to attack Frieza from the stands. He's stopped by being erased, along with the rest of Universe 6, since he was their last fighter. From there, the rest of the tournament would go the same, with Goku and Frieza eventually knocking Jiren out of the arena. Android 17 would be the only fighter left standing, so Universe 7 is the winner, but he wishes for all of the other universes to be restored. After they are, everyone proceeds to go back to their own universes. As for Frost and the others, after they return to Universe 6, we simply don't know what they usually got up to. Does he go back to being a fugitive, or were his crimes somehow pardoned by Champa for trying to help protect their universe? Or does Champa erase him for targeting some of his own team's fighters? It's hard to say what would happen, but if he was erased, Universe 6 obviously wouldn't have to worry about him anymore. Assuming he isn't erased, but he's still a fugitive, he'd be a force to be reckoned with, so he'd likely be a thorn in the police's side. If he was pardoned, he obviously wouldn't have to worry about the police anymore, at least not at first. He might be more nefarious in his deeds, but open about it this time, so he could potentially become a space pirate once more. He also likely continues to train to master his golden form. Maybe something like the black form is even a possibility for him down the road, if he trains enough. Regardless of what he gets up to, Universe 6 hasn't seen the last of him yet.